You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, like, comment. Guys, you know the drill. We're going to talk about a topic that, well, Kyler Murray gets a lot of play on this channel, mainly due to some of his antics out there, some of behavioral issues. But there's also an issue of play, and frankly, I don't think Kyler Murray has just really excelled in the NFL. I don't. I know he had a couple of Pro Bowl seasons, but let's face it, in this day and time, we're not exactly talking about Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, and Steve Young all making the Pro Bowl in 1 year, right? We're seeing a lot of people make Pro Bowls, and Pro Bowls really don't mean much anymore. They don't, and they're certainly not an indication because so many of the good quarterbacks just say, hey, I'm not going, okay? So, I mean, he's had a couple of decent seasons, but I think a lot of people believe the Arizona Cardinals are going to be dumpster fire bad, and I'm talking about in the conversation, certainly for the top 3 worst teams in the league, and that's going to put them in play for one quarterback named Caleb Williams. And some comments have been made from Albert Breer, who has talked to a couple of people in the NFL. And it's clear, I mean, it's Caleb Williams, it's Drake May. You know, Bo Nix is going to come out. There's going to be quite a few different. Quinn Ewers is a possibility here out of Texas. We don't know how that's going to go. I could say he might want to come out sooner than later because Arch Manning obviously is going to be breathing down his neck. I mean, they're both extremely high profile, but, you know, with the transfer portal, that gives him some options. So, let's get to this because trading Kyler Murray, and I really wonder what kind of market would he have, it looks like it's doable, okay? It looks like it's doable. Mike Florio has jumped into it and said that the Cardinals can figure out a way to move off of Kyler Murray if they end up with the number 1 overall pick. And I got to tell you, if they end up with number 1 or number 2, I think they're moving off of him. Maybe even number 3. I think they're going to move off of Kyler Murray. I truly do. All right, he's hurt. He's small. And there are definitely questions about his personality, things like work ethic. Look, there's a reason why they put a study clause in his contract. I know everybody went nuts. They tried to make it a race issue when it certainly wasn't. It obviously was an effort issue, or they would not have done that. All right, and in my opinion, that's one of the worst looks a franchise quarterback could possibly have when it comes to work ethic. That would be my number 1 criteria before I got to anything else, would be work ethic, right? We've seen the greatest example of that was Tom Brady. 6th-round pick, basically the best work ethic we've ever seen in the history of football to turn himself into the GOAT. 2019, the Cardinals didn't hesitate to move on from quarterback Josh Rosen, a top 10 pick a year earlier for quarterback Kyler Murray. Look, that was a smart move. If the Cardinals emerge from the 2023 season with the first overall pick in the draft and have a shot at someone like USC quarterback Caleb Williams, would they move on from Murray? The cap consequences would be significant, but not impossible to endure. After 2023, Murray's $46.221 million, my God, what a terrible contract, in pay but unallocated bonus money, also another $29.9 in 2025 compensation becomes fully guaranteed on the 5th day of 2024's league year. If the Cardinals cut him before the guarantees vest using a post-June 1 designation, Murray would count $13 million against the cap in 2024. Good God, that's very doable. That's very doable. And $33.28 million in 2025. A trade that happens after June 1 would have the same cap consequences. $13 million in 2024 and $33.28 million in 2025. However, the Cardinals would have to be willing to let The fresh $29.8 million become fully guaranteed weeks before a trade can be finalized at the lower 2024 cap charge. The Cardinals could also trade Murray before June 1 and take a full $46.221 million cap charge in 2024. Yikes! That would break the record set by the Falcons in 2021 when Atlanta took a $40.5 million cap charge by trading quarterback Matt Ryan to the Colts. They've come out the other side, though. What the Cardinals want could only be part of the story. Murray might decide he wants out in recognition of a relationship that has become fractured a year ago with a clunky homework clause. Yeah, of course Mike Florio doesn't like the homework clause that painted Murray as not a hard worker. How about what his offensive lineman said or what Patrick Peterson said? I mean, look, there's a lot of evidence around there that maybe he hadn't been the best teammate, doesn't have the strongest work ethic, head may not be screwed on straight. I mean, stop that like that's a reach. Yeah, I mean, there's too much smoke around that fire. It's a reputation he might not ever begin to shed until he's playing for a new team. I agree. He's going to have a tough time getting past that. I will say this, provided his body can hold up, because he's a tiny guy, I do think Kyler Murray may be a better quarterback at 30 years old and 32 years old than he is now, because he might mature some. But, I mean, who's going to wait around for that? He might be out of the league by then. Here's the other thing to keep in mind regarding the cap consequences. It's cost no actual money to absorb a cap charge. The money has already been spent. By taking a massive cap hit in 2024, the Cardinals would be able to spend less cash next year. That alone could make taking a $46.22 million cap charge intriguing for the Cardinals. With more than $23 million in current cap space, much of which would be carried over to 2024, trading Murray before June 1 and eating the full $46.221 million becomes easier than it would be. That is very interesting, I think, potentially in the entire situation. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated shared that multiple NFL talent evaluators he spoke with are extremely high on Caleb Williams. And this is Albert Breer's tweet right here. Working ahead on some things for the summer. And let me tell you, the NFL is very, in caps, high on USC quarterback Caleb Williams. And in a Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence kind of way, quote, he is unbelievable, said one quarterback coach. What the teams at the bottom do in December will be interesting. I mean, while historically some scouts and evaluators have used programs' history at specific positions against players, that's not the case with Williams. Despite the Trojans' recent track record of not producing starting caliber NFL quarterbacks, Carson Palmer, anybody. A Hall of very good quarterback. Let's be real. If Carson Palmer wins a Super Bowl with the Cardinals, he walks into the Hall of Fame. His numbers were that good. I mean, yeah, I get it. Sanchez, Matt Leinart, I get it. But let's not forget about Carson here. That's not an issue being held against Caleb Williams. In his first season at USC, Williams was the best quarterback in college football. He displayed an outstanding arm strength, excellent accuracy, poise in the pocket. That's an important one in my opinion. And his athleticism makes him a dangerous dual-threat quarterback. Williams won't face the same size concerns that Bryce Young encountered during the pre-draft process. Williams is 6'1", 3 inches taller than Young, and already has an NFL-caliber body at 220 pounds. Lawrence and Luck have been viewed as the best quarterbacks to enter the NFL draft since John Elway. Peyton Manning, anybody. While Luck retired early and Lawrence struggled in his first season, both signal callers proved that they could be two of the best players in the league. The buzz around Williams has already led to conversations around the NFL about the possibility of tanking towards the end of the season. Considering the hype surrounding 2024 class, which includes Drake May, there will be a close eye kept on the bottom of the standings in November and December. And somewhere, Roger Goodell's thinking, I don't know how to stop that from happening, especially when you consider how much the NFL is relying on betting money these days. You know, I mean, how do you force teams to be competitive, especially if ownership is directing traffic in there for a hotshot quarterback? And when you start talking about quarterbacks like Williams, quarterbacks like Drake May, ownership's going to start really thinking about what those two could do to the overall look and feel of a franchise. Oh, Caleb Williams, Drake May, the face of the Arizona Cardinals? Or Kyler Murray, walking around like a sick cat? I mean, looking like a hot-ass mess. Body language not good, you know? Questions about work ethic. Size concerns. I will still not forget the fact that multiple times I've heard Chris Sims say when Kyler Murray was coming out in the draft, many NFL teams did not even have the quarterback on their board because of his size automatically. We're not talking about Russell Wilson here, where it's more like, 6 foot, 5'11 and 3/4, 210, 215, 220. Russell is considerably bigger than Kyler Murray. Think about that a minute. And Russell is not big. Wow. I don't know. This is going to get so interesting. I mean, this Arizona Cardinals Kyler Murray thing is going to be so interesting going into the season because of Caleb Williams and Drake May hanging over the entire franchise. And then you got to think about teams that might be somehow willing to trade. What if some random team has a horrible dumpster fire year that nobody sees coming? What happens then? Their franchise quarterback, a good one, gets hurt somewhere. Interesting. Not to jinx the Jaguars, but what if Trevor Lawrence goes out and, breaks a leg all of a sudden? Yikes. Or, and I find this even more interesting, especially in light of the fact that they all just drafted quarterbacks. What if the Panthers or the Colts end up with the number 1 overall pick? And don't sleep on the Bears getting the number 1 overall pick. If they do, all these Justin Fields truthers are about to be piss hot mad because that son of a gun will be shipped out of town at record speed for Drake May or for Caleb Williams. Rightfully so. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.